Hi, everyone. My name is Hallie. I'm one of the assistant directors of admissions here at Maryville. I wanted to start off by thanking you for joining us tonight. So, thank you for being here with us. I will say we will try to keep this short and sweet. So, the goal of tonight is going to be to get through a presentation with some good information that you might need, answer any of your questions, and then get you out of here so you can get on with your evening. Additionally, this is going to be recorded. So, if you do need to go back to look at any of it, feel free. If you want to take photos of any of the slides or anything, feel free. Or you can always reach out to your admissions counselor and we can help you with pretty much any of this as well. Um, so also make sure throughout this you can use the chat to ask any questions, or you can use the Q&A feature at the bottom to ask any questions. Some of them I might be able to get through as I'm going through the presentation, and then others might I'll just do at the end. We save time for questions, but we will get around to them, so do not worry about that. But without further ado, we will hop right into it. So, first up is going to be securing your place in the class. So, first part of the next step is just to kind of officially say that you want to come to Maryville. Submitting that $250 advanced tuition payment is going to be how you do that. You can submit this through your admin email. So the first acceptance email that you got, if you still have that, there's a big red button that says reserve your spot. You can do it there, or you can do it through your applicant community. So that's going to be a common theme throughout this presentation. Both the emails and applicant community are very important. So definitely make sure you have access to both of those. Applicant community, when you log in, you can log in with the same stuff that you used, the same login and username that you used when you applied to Maryville. And you can go to the Next Steps tab. There's a whole tab that just lays out next steps, and it'll give you like direct links to anything you need to do. So advanced tuition payment, housing payment, FAFSA, anything like that. That's a really good resource, and we can always help you out if you do have any questions with that. The advanced tuition payment is refundable until May 1st, so that's a great thing to keep in mind as well. Just if something were to change, you can let us know. But if you're in any of the direct entry health professions, interior design, or you just want that housing application open sooner, I would put that deposit down. That is how you're going to get access to the housing portal. So that'll kind of hop on the next slide. But we will kind of touch base on housing next. So the first spot is just going to be to secure your spot with that $250 advanced tuition payment. Next up is going to be, again, securing your housing. So similar to the advanced tuition payment, this is going to be in the applicant community. It is refundable till May 1st. There's not necessarily the deadline for this, but since housing is not required at Maryville, it is first come, first serve. So if there is a dorm that your student really wants to stay in, I would suggest putting the housing application down sooner rather than later, simply because that's going to give them a better chance of getting the dorm that they want, getting their first choice. So just keep that in mind. You can do this in your applicant community after paying the advanced tuition payment. So you do have to pay the advanced tuition payment first in order to have access to this. You will also get an email with access to the housing application within 48 hours of putting that advanced tuition payment down. So if you don't want to go through the applicant community, the email is another way to do that. And then the more exciting news that I'm sure everyone has been waiting for, the roommate request form is now open. So we did open that today. It has been sent out. I already know a few people were able to see that. If you haven't, make sure your student's looking at their email for that. That is where you will be able to request a roommate if you do have a specific roommate that you're wanting. If you do not, that is totally fine as well. You can do a random assignment. You can also wait until later if you're still like looking to meet someone that you want to room with. So you don't have to submit that until May 1st, the roommate request form, but you also don't have to submit it if you're wanting to do a random assignment. So no worries there. But again, secure your place in housing. You're more likely to get the dorm that you would prefer if you do it sooner rather than later. So I would suggest getting that done. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. But main thing is just that you will have access to this after you put down that advanced tuition payment. Moving on. Financial aid. So the FAFSA, it's not always fun, but they did shorten it down this year, so it's not nearly as long to do. If you've already submitted your FAFSA, great. If you haven't, now is an excellent time to do so. Scholarships are just going to be one part of the financial award. You also can do FAFSA to be considered for federal, state, institutional, and need-based financial aid. Our school code is on the screen, so you can write that down, take a note of it. We can always give it to you later too, but it is there if you are needing that. Additionally, when you do get your financial aid package, at the very bottom, there's going to be four big red buttons. One of the big red buttons is going to say make a virtual appointment with your admissions counselor. You can click on that. It'll take you straight to your admissions counselor's calendar to make a time with them to do a call or a Zoom. And we can walk through any of that with you, go over any questions or concerns that you might have. Additionally, you can always just reach out via, phone call or email. But if you're wanting to really sit down and look into it, that is a great way to do that. So again, that is going to be at the bottom of your award letter. So when you do get the email with your award letter, those are the big four red buttons at the very bottom. So you scroll all the way down. There's also a button there out of those four that is going to say accept your financial aid. That will take you over to our self-service where you will be able to accept, decline, or update any of that financial aid information. Additionally, if you have submitted the FAFSA, we are caught up to date on our financial aid packages. So that's the good news. So if you submitted FAFSA, unless you did it within the last day or maybe 3 days, you should have a financial aid package. So those are sent to the student's email that was used on the application. So probably the same email that has been getting all of the communications thus far. So that is where they can find that. We are caught up on them. So if you submitted the FAFSA and it was not really, really recent, I would go back, check the student's email. They most likely have that financial aid package. If not, feel free to reach out. There might have been something that we can help you with. But if you just submitted the FAFSA, give it a few days and you should have a package as well. Looks like one of the questions, the roommate request form. So if you didn't see it in the email, you can also, you can reach out to us, but applicant community is going to be a great option for most of these things. Advanced tuition payment, housing payment, all that stuff will be found in the applicant community. The roommate request form went out to those that already have the housing deposit down. So I would make sure that you have that step. That might be why you might not see it as well. So just keep that in mind. It kind of goes in an order. So advanced tuition payment, then housing, then roommate request form. So if you still don't see it after a bit, reach out to your admissions counselor and we can help you get that figured out. So no worries there. So financial aid, we will help you with whatever you need if you want to help understand it or anything. But more importantly, if you have specific financial aid questions, we are going to have another webinar session on March 17th. That is going to be all about financial aid. That is with our other counselor, Blake. So if you want to join that or watch that after it is recorded, that will go through all the good details of financial aid. So feel free to mark your calendar for that. It'll be later in this presentation as well. So March 17th, feel free to join us for that meeting as well. Registering for Admitted Student Day. So this is also open now. We sent out a save the date as well as a registration email for Admitted Student Day, again, to the student's email. So make sure you're looking at that. You can also look in the applicant community once again. Admitted Student Day is optional, but it's something that we highly recommend if you're wanting to see campus or meet with faculty, meet new friends, other incoming students that are going to be in the same classes with you, academic sessions, things like that. Another great thing is that we do have a little bit more flexibility with tours, so we will have all the residence halls open for the tours for Admitted Student Day. So if your student is staying in a specific dorm and they want to make sure that they see the one that they are staying in, that's a great option to come for that. So just keep that in mind as well. To answer the question, is Admitted Student Day different than START? It is. So Admitted Student Day is an optional day, more of a for fun to meet people, get that feel of the Maryville community, or see the campus some more if you're wanting to do that. Whereas START is a little bit more mandatory, so it is going to be for any student that is enrolled, put their advanced tuition payment down. So Admitted Student Day is just for any student that has been accepted. START is going to be when you really enroll in classes and meet your life coach. So that is, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but I wanted to make sure I get to that question. So yes, they are two separate things. We will talk about START here in just a second, but for Admitted Student Day, it is optional. Registration is open. We highly recommend it if you want to come to campus and kind of have a few fun things, meet some people. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. That is on March 21st. So a little agenda was posted in the email that was sent out as well. But March 21st is going to be the day for Admitted Student Day. So that's a Saturday if you want to mark your calendars. A lot of dates being thrown at you, so just keep that in mind. All right, so now start. So kind of touching base on that, how they differ. Start days, this is going to be where you receive a one-on-one academic coaching registering for classes with your life coach. So if you're unaware, Maryville does have what we call life coaches. Your student gets a community of life coaches, so about 3 to 4 of them. These are going to be the people that help them throughout their time at college, but the main thing is that they are going to help them enroll in classes. So they will help them register for their classes, make sure they're taking the right classes for their degree, their career path, all things like that. So when you do go to start, you will enroll in classes, you will meet your life coaches, you will do that one-on-one session so that you can enroll in classes. You'll receive your iPad and your Maryville ID. So it is important if you are going to come to Maryville in the fall. Sign up for that is going to be in the next few weeks, so you can see the link on the screen. We might be able to put in the chat as well, but you would just go to maryville.edu/start. All the dates are already posted, so if you want to look at the dates, feel free to do so on that link. They run, I think, roughly through April through August, so that's kind of, you can choose which one you want to go to. This is also a great time if you have questions about transfer credits or you want to bring in transcripts for dual enrollment or college credit, AP credit. You can always send those to your admissions counselor as well, and we can kind of look over, see how things are going to transfer. But when you do go to start, that is going to be the best time for your life coach to really show you how they're going to transfer and get those on file. So if you want to make sure that you kind of have all your questions answered, it's totally fine to bring a note of any of those questions that you have about previous classes you've taken, how they're going to transfer, what they're going to look like in your degree planning sheet, anything like that. So again, START is a little bit more mandatory because it is going to be how you enroll in classes. So once registration is open for that, if you plan to come to Maryville in the fall, that is something you will need to do. But it is still fun nonetheless, and it's a big step in coming to Maryville. So it's a very exciting thing as well. Short and sweet slide here. Request final transcripts. So don't let July 1st sneak up on you. We do need your final transcript sent by July 1st. So that can just be something that you ask your high school counselor to send to us. If you want to make a little note in your calendar maybe so that you get them as soon as you graduate or something, just send them over to us so that we do have them. So we'll need them from your high school counselor. So that's a great thing to keep in mind. So that's again, short and sweet slide, but another date. So if you're wanting to keep note of all the dates, July 1st is a good one to note for final transcripts. Also, because we have it in the chat, I'll answer this real quick. So the one fee, someone asked what the one fee is. At Maryville, we do have what we call a one fee. That is going to be a yearly fee that includes all of the little fees that would normally be thrown at you throughout college, throughout the year. So we just put them in one thing up front. So that is going to include parking on campus, textbooks, laundry, tutoring, the gym, down the road, cap and gown at graduation. So all of those little fees that you would incur, that is just going to have them up front. So when you go to your first class and you need 2 biology textbooks, you don't have to go find them for half off or used or something. They will just be free of charge on your iPad. The one fee also does include the iPad and Apple Pencil that you get, and you do get to keep that when you graduate. So if you didn't know that already, congrats. That's a nice little fun thing. But you do get that iPad and Apple Pencil at start. So when you go to enroll in classes, you will get that. And all of that is included in the one fee so that when you are doing all your little things throughout the year, you're not being sent to multiple bills with different fees. So that's kind of a big explanation of that. That will be kind of included on your financial aid package too. So if you ever want to go through that, we can look at all of that. Start does not have to be in person. We do have virtual options for out-of-state people. I don't know the exact details on that yet, but I was talking to a life coach and they did say that we will have virtual options. So do not fret, you do not have to come. So if you're already coming for Admitted Student Day or you don't want to have to plan a trip or anything like that, you do not have to come in person for start. We will have virtual options for out-of-state people. If you are local or somewhat close, I would say I would definitely recommend coming in person because you're going to get your iPad and all of that type of stuff. But if you are out of state, we will be able to mail anything to you as well. So no worries there. A few more questions. We will need final transcripts, so even if you have sent one in, we will need final ones to just for proof of graduation. That's really all we use that one for. So we will need those by July 1st, but that's a pretty common thing, so it shouldn't be something crazy that your high school counselor thinks is, difficult or anything. We can always get that, but that is something we will need. That is what your automatic scholarship is contingent on. Um, and then. Here are some important dates. So, important dates, I'll keep these up here for a minute. You can take note, you can take a photo, whatever works best for you. You will get more information on this down the road, but if you're just wanting to mark your calendar, kind of have them on your radar now. Move-in and orientation. So over on this side, we got new student move-in, August 20th and 21st. So if you are moving in, if you're living on campus, mark your calendar. That's when that will be. Orientation will be the 21st through the 23rd of August. So it's all going to be within that week. And then we have the first day of classes as well. So you can take a note of this. Again, more information will be spit out throughout the rest of the year, so you'll learn all of it. But if you do want to make a note on your calendar now, great time to do so. So I'll give you a second on this slide just so everyone can make sure they get these dates down. And while I do that, I will answer some more questions. So. Yes. So if you have a new transcript and your GPA has gone up, we definitely look at that. If it bumps you up to the next scholarship cell, we can increase that. So scholarships can be increased until the day that you start classes with us. So what that means basically, so there's three tiers of scholarships that we get on the automatic scholarships, which are our merit-based ones, GPA based. If you have the transcript that you applied with has a 2.9, but then when you get your final high school transcripts, you have a 3.1. That does move you to a new bracket, so we will bump up your scholarship. So up until the day you start classes, if you do get a higher GPA, we can bump you. If you're already at the highest one, then there's nowhere to bump you. But if you do, we will keep an eye on that, and yes, we can upgrade that. Um, and elective classes. When you're going to start, things aren't necessarily first come, first serve. If you're wanting, as far as what date you want to apply, if you did see the dates for start, or if you do after this with the link, um, you are welcome to do the ones right away if you're wanting to get it out of the way. You can also do it all the way up till August to enroll in classes. So some classes are just on availability throughout all the people that are at Maryville, but the life coaches work with you to make sure that you are always getting the classes you need. So that is not something you have to worry about. We make sure that the student is taking the courses that they need, that they aren't repeating courses if you have credit that you're bringing in, stuff like that. That's why we do give you that one-on-one academic session at start. So no worries there. Um, Let me just see if there's anything more before I go. Okay, perfect. So we'll go into more questions now. But again, see you on March 17th. So that's when the financial aid meeting will go. So it'll be just like this one. It will be recorded if you want to look at it afterwards. But that is going to be all about financial aid. So if you have specific questions about financial aid and you haven't met one-on-one with your admissions counselor to go over any of that, please feel free to join us for that session. It's going to be very insightful. So definitely helps throughout the process because I know financial aid can be stressful or scary or it's unknown for a lot of new people if your student is the first one and if it's the first of siblings or someone to go to college. So we definitely have options to help you out with that. So March 17th, all your questions can get answered. If you do not have questions, you are good to go. I am going to look in the chat now and the Q&A and everything and kind of see if we have other questions. So we'll be going over some of those. The iPads, I do not believe they come with cases. Believe you do purchase a case, so you can choose kind of what case you want. So that is up to you. If you have if you want really cute case, if you just want a really safe case. Some students get the ones that have like the keyboard attachments if you want to make it into a laptop, so that is totally up to you as well. The iPad can be used for personal use. It can also be used for classes, textbooks, note taking, Netflix and Hulu if that's what you desire. So the iPad is yours to keep when you graduate. We give it to students so that everyone has access to any of those textbooks and everything. But how you use it is kind of up to you. It will be yours to keep. So you get to choose the case that you want, um, all the different things like that. Um, Again, with any of those dual credits, transfer credits, you can always send them to us first, your admissions counselor, if you haven't already, and we can take a look at them for you. But start will be a really good time to bring them as well. So it's kind of up to you. But that's going to be a good time when you can get more information on transfer credits and how they're going to fit into your degree plan. Our website, on just Maryville's website, we do have, if you go to academics, you can go to any of the specific majors and there is a degree planning sheet button. So you can see exactly what courses you will take for your intended major. So that's a good thing to look at too, especially if you have classes coming in, and you want to see where they're going to fit. And then additionally, we have a transfer equivalency database on our website. That is going to be a great tool if you are taking classes, say at STLCC or UMSL, or even if it's in Texas. We have a database where you can put in the class that you took the course, and then put in the school that you took the course, put in the course itself, and then it'll tell you what it transfers to at Maryville. So if you're taking, Psych 102 at STLCC, it'll tell you it transfers to whatever it transfers to at Maryville. So that's a really good tool as well, but your admissions counselors and life coaches can always help you with any of that. The one fee is the same for on and off campus. So all of our tuition and one fee, since we are a private tuition, we do not have like an out of state, in state. We don't have an on campus, off campus. Obviously, you do have to have that financial aid package built in if you want the housing and meal plan. But the one fee is going to be the same for everyone. Yes. Um, Payment plans, we do have options that are going to be at the bottom of your financial aid package as well. So there will be two little, they aren't bills, they're just kind of ways for you to see what payment plans can look like, things like that. When you can start paying, how much you would start paying. So I would, again, look at that financial aid award letter. That can help you answer any of those things. If you still have questions after that, feel free to reach out to us, your admissions counselor, and we can help you out. If you don't know who your admissions counselor is, hopefully by now you guys kind of have talked a few times, but if not, it will be the person that is at the bottom of most of the emails that you get sent out. So if you have like your acceptance letter, um, our contact information is at the bottom of those emails. So you can always see that for any of our phone numbers, emails, anything like that. Any of us are happy to help you, but sometimes it's easier for you to just have one point of contact. So that's kind of the goal by giving you one admissions counselor. Um, Work study. So we do have work study. That is a great option if you put that you were interested and it is in your financial aid offer. That is a really good way for us to, help you out, cut down on some of the cost. We also have institutional work study if you do not qualify for federal work study, which that stuff might be covered more in the financial aid presentation. But work study, we do have a lot of options. Typically, as you get closer to actually, enrolling and starting classes, you'll be able to see a list of the different jobs that we have, and kind of discuss what might look best for you. We have a lot of different great options. You can, be a tour guide, pack leader, work at the library, tutor, um, any of those things. There's a lot of different options. RAs, some of them aren't always work study. Starbucks, we have Starbucks on campus, so a lot of different jobs you can get on campus. Additionally, there's a lot of jobs you can get off campus. If you are not from the area, we have a lot of different areas local for you to get a job as well. You have a lot of flexibility when you're creating your schedule. So if you want to kind of make it flexible so you can have a job or something like that, the life coaches will work with you for that. Um, if you paid, was it housing? So yes, if you put on your application that you were going to be interested in living on campus, so you intended to live on campus, once you've put down that advanced tuition payment, you will have received something about the housing application within 48 hours. So if it's still in that time frame, that might be why you don't see it. But within that time, After that, you will have the housing application. Same thing goes for then the roommate request form. If you have that deposit down for the housing application, you should be receiving that roommate request form as well. Um, Another way you can get, so we talked about applicant community. Maryville emails, you can be prompted to set those up. So another great way is if you do see your financial aid package, again, those buttons at the bottom. So one of them that says accept my financial aid, that will take you over to self-service where you will start an account over there. But information on how to set up your email will be sent out to you when it's kind of the right time for you to do so. So some of you already might have done that. If you are having trouble with any of your accounts, reach out to your admissions counselors. We can help you with any of those things. Typically, it's a simple little fix, but hopefully there aren't any issues. So that's one thing as well. Um, Will nursing buildings and labs and all of that be available for admitted student days to tour? Yes. So students are going to have classroom experience on admitted student day, so you can go into academic sessions, you can look at any of the different classrooms that you might be interested in with your specific major. So there are academic sessions that are kind of planned out for if you're going into nursing or occupational therapy or cybersecurity or sport business management, whatever it may be. Yes, buildings will be open. Additionally, if you do stay after for the tours, you can kind of, if there's like a certain building you want, the tour guides can help make sure you can try to get in there. So if you want to see the library, things like that, most of that is involved in the tour regardless. But if there's something really specific you want to see, ask your tour guide. They might be able to help you out there. For the meal plan, you do not have to get one if you are not living on campus. If you are living on campus, you do have to purchase a meal plan. So you get to choose, mixing and matching what dorm, what meal plan. So that is totally up to you. But if you choose to live on campus, you are going to be required to purchase a meal plan. Living on campus is completely optional. So if you want to commute from home, if you want to get an off-campus apartment, that's an option as well. If you're wanting to get that college experience on campus, we obviously do have those dorm options. Meal plans are required for those living on campus. Um, Main thing to note with those, money left over in the fall semester rolls over to your spring semester. But at the end of the spring semester, the meal plan money does not roll over to your next year. So plan that accordingly as you will. You can always manually add money into your meal plan. So if you run out, we have Saints dollars that you can add and upload. But just make sure you're kind of using it accordingly, depending on which tier you get of the meal plan. We do not do swipe systems. Ours is just kind of like a debit card system. So the dollar amount you see is the dollar amount you get. If you have additional questions on that, we can always discuss that afterwards. I want to make sure we have time for everyone as well. Um, as far as the roommate request form goes with suite mates, we do not have you choosing your own suite mates. You can just choose your roommate. So rooms will be assigned for you, but you can put down your roommate. So you and your desired roommate can put down each other's names on that roommate request form. Suite mates you cannot choose. That is just going to be random. But you can choose your roommate if that is something you want. So keep that in mind. Are parents allowed to come to admitted student day? Yes, we will have student and parent sessions. So if you want to come and you're a parent, absolutely, you are more than welcome. We'd love to have you. The more the merrier. So if everyone wants to come, students and parents can both come. If the student would prefer to come alone, that is fine too. But we will have stuff for the parents to do. So if you want to come, please do. We'd love to have you. You can see campus, get a better feel for Maryville, all the good things. Okay, so I'll wait just a second to see if we have any more questions. Um, and then if not, we'll kind of see if we want to wrap up here. Again, with any of that tuition payment plans or when do you want to start paying, that is going to be something we can look at on your financial aid package. There's going to be the samples at the bottom that tell you when you can start paying and how much you will start paying. So if you have specific questions on that, we can always discuss with your admissions counselor. But that financial aid award letter will kind of show you the different times that you can start paying, and how often and how frequently, how much, all things like that. It'll show you both with and without loans, so that's up to you. Um, I see some people are dropping off. So yeah, if you don't have questions, you're welcome to go. Thank you so much for attending. If you do have questions, stick around. We're going to continue to answer a few. As far as start, I don't know that it necessarily matters when you go if you're looking for certain classes. Um, but I would say it's more of like if you want to get it out of the way and kind of make sure that you have your classes, you have enrolled and everything, and you're good to go. I would say, sign up for one of the earlier days. If you'd prefer to wait a bit, that is totally fine too. Again, they go through August, but that is going to be up to you, your schedule, how the start days fit into the calendar days that you can go to. And then we can see from there. The life coaches will walk you through that. Again, they will make sure that you are taking the right courses that you need to take. So there are many sections for all the courses. If one fills up, the life coach can help you get into another one. So don't stress about any of that. They make sure that you are taken care of during that. So they will help you with any of those things. With Start, can parents come? Again, more the merrier. If parents want to come to Start, please do. With both Start and Admitted Student Day, we'd love to have you. You're welcome to come. You don't have to come by any means, but if you do want to, you are very much welcome. Financial aid package, yes, that is what you will get after entering in the FAFSA. So if you submit the FAFSA to us, you put Maryville's code, and we receive that, we are able to make a financial aid package. If you do not plan to fill out FAFSA, we can still get you a financial aid package. It'll just be later in the year. But right now, the turnaround time is pretty quick. If you want to submit your FAFSA to us, we can get you that financial aid package. Or if you have already submitted your FAFSA, you probably have a financial aid package, so please go through that student's email between January and February and see if you can find that. If not, you can reach out. But we are pretty caught up on the financial aid packages. And again, with that, just because we're kind of wrapping up now, financial aid has its own separate webinar completely. Blake will answer all the questions you have for that. So if between now and March 17th you have questions, please reach out to your admissions counselor. We can help you with any of that. But if you would prefer to just kind of make a note of it and wait until Blake's session on March 17th, that is just fine as well. He can answer any of your questions there. Um, okay, so with the automatic scholarships, the merit-based ones, once you have kind of locked in your scholarship and you start classes and all of that, you just have to keep a 2.5 GPA to maintain your scholarship throughout your time here at Maryville. So you will get it for 10 consecutive semesters or until you get a bachelor's degree, whatever comes first. But if it drops, as long as it's above a 2.5, you're still in the clear. We do have free tutoring for all classes, so if that's a resource that you want to take advantage of, please do. We also have office hours with our teachers. So a lot of great ways to make sure that your academics are succeeding, but that's not something to hopefully worry about. If you have paid the advanced tuition payment, then yes, you should be receiving the registration for START. So as soon as that goes out, you will be able to register. As long as you have put down that advanced tuition payment, you are good to go on that. Um, and then again, we'll wait just a few minutes more to see if there's any more questions, but if not, we'll kind of wrap up here. So the scholarship GPA tiers go from a 2.5 to a 2.99, and then a 3.0 to a 3.49, and then a 3.5 and above. So there's three tiers. Those are the different tiers that you can get based on your GPA. If you're right on the cusp, we could definitely get you upgraded if you bump that GPA up just a tiny bit. If you're, worried about dropping, don't be. So those are kind of the three ones to look at. If you're good, then you're good. If you have any questions about any of that, or you want to submit, if you submitted a 7 semester transcript or you're going to submit your final transcripts, we will look to see if you do get an increase in that GPA enough to bump you up to the next scholarship cell. Okie dokie. Maybe one more. Okay. So That's it for now. Thank you guys again so much for coming. You are more than welcome to head out now if you want to get on with your night. If you do have additional questions, please reach out to your admissions counselor. We are happy to help you through this process. But really excited to see you guys on campus soon, be part of the Saints community, whether it's for Admit Student Day or Start or for a daily campus visit. We'd love to have you, so please stop by. And if you have any questions, please reach out. We can help you with whatever it may be. But if not, have a good rest of your night. And thank you for attending.